Welcome to the Reddit Chronicles. Today we will be reading from True Off My Chest. Our first post is by Throwaway. I'm considering divorcing my wife because she can't get over her mom dying. Yeah, I know. Everyone is fired up at the title and ready to tell me what a jerk I am. To those people, I implore you to read the rest of this post before making a judgment. My 36M wife's 33F mother passed away 5 years ago from lung cancer. It was not a peaceful or easy death. Our lives understandably went on pause after the diagnosis, and we both spent a lot of time off work helping care for her mother. My wife had a pretty typical showing of grief at the time, cycling through different stages, same with our 3 kids. After she passed, however, my wife got really bad. I totally understand this. I can't say I know exactly what she went through because I haven't had a parent die, but I understand how devastated she was. For months after she could barely function, I gently took over pretty much all the responsibilities in the household and with the kids. She had been attending grief counseling since the diagnosis and continued after the death. None of this is the problem. I endeavored to be as supportive as possible. She cried on my shoulder every night for months, and I just thought this was the worst of for better or worse. The problem is that after 5 years, she does not seem any better or more functional. She stopped grief counseling about 4 years ago and refused to go again, stating it would not help her and that nothing could. About a month before any major holiday, she will have a major downturn. In bed half the day, crying all day, does not want to interact with the family, does not have the energy to do anything around the house. This will go on every single day until about a week after the holiday ends. Every holiday is intense grief, just as much now as it was 5 years ago. October, November, December, and January, her mom's birthday month, every year are particularly bad. I am essentially without my wife, and am a single parent to my 3 kids. Altogether, she is completely incapacitated by grief for about 6 months out of the year, and has been the past 5 years. When I say incapacitated, I mean incapacitated. When she is in the depths of her grief, she is completely incapable of intimacy with me or the kids. There is no cuddling, spending time with us, going on family outings. I don't have sex for half the year. I've stopped asking her if she wants to talk about it because she can't get any words out between sobs if she tries. What hurts the most is that the kids have stopped asking or being concerned. If they see their mom in bed when they get home, they just go about their day and might casually mention, "Oh, mom is sad today," if they're siblings or I ask where she is. They don't really seek affection with her anymore because they rarely get anything more than tears. I've discussed this with therapists, my parents, friends, etc., and I know all the rebuttals people have for this, so let me preempt them. She is unwilling to go back to therapy for grief counseling or to see a doctor for depression. Yes, I know she's severely depressed. I can't force her to go to the doctor. I've tried so much. Yes, it really is just as intense as it was 5 years ago. No, I never tell her to get over it or blow her off. On my worst days, I just give space and leave her be. Most days I try to offer her some comfort. If you want to judge me for leaving her alone, whatever, but know that I feel like I essentially have caretaker fatigue at this point. No, she does not have a history of depression, but she does have ADHD. Don't know if that's relevant. I feel like my wife died when her mom died. I would do anything to get her back, even a small piece of her, but she doesn't seem willing or able to move on past her mom's death. I feel awful for considering a divorce, but I don't know what else to do. Our next post is by Breadfruit Tall. Autism is not a superpower, it's not a different ability, it's a curse. She will never feed herself. She will never speak a word to another human. She will never have a novel thought. She will never solve a math problem. She will never fall in love. She will never have a conversation. She will never sign a sentence in ASL. She will never live 24 hours on her own. She will never wipe her own butt. I will die with a 200-pound adult child depending on me for her daily needs. My wife will die never knowing a day of freedom. My wife will never have a career. She will never make the mark on the world that she dreamed of as a child. My daughter will die alone, never understanding why her mom and dad are gone. I will never hike the Appalachian Trail. Every Redditor and Tumblr poster joking about how their autism makes them a quirky introvert will never have a clue the suffering my child and the rest of her family suffer every day of their existence. And I don't judge them for that. I envy them. If my child had the mental capacity, she would envy them too. I am glad that they can live a life of connection and achievement even with their struggles. I admire them and wish them well. But they are not like my daughter. She will never type a sentence. She will never post on the internet. She will never know that other human beings are her equal and want to communicate with her. I cheer them on for their struggles and triumphs, and they are right and justified and admirable in their own way. I wish every day my ASD child were like them. I too am autistic, according to one psychiatrist. I don't know if that's actually true. I told her I don't want a diagnosis, and she dropped it. Autism spectrum disorder needs to be separated between the quirky but functional and the will never experience the fullness of life. Every person who posts rants on social media against the idea of curing or treating autism is right in their indignation. But at the same time, I believe they are blind to their own privilege. If I could eradicate autism with the press of a button, I would do it in a heartbeat. I don't want to strike away the idea of neurodivergence or mental struggle. I know it firsthand. Still, I agree. I hate the idea that my child needs to be cured, but I also do want that. I am torn in two. Autism at its most extreme is a curse. It's evidence against a benevolent God. I want someone to acknowledge that. I love my child. I love her every day. And when I look at her, I feel warmth and care and even a tiny bit of hope. I take great comfort in her embrace and her smile, and I thank God every day for every little moment of happiness. But my daughter will never wipe her own butt, and I will never hike the Appalachian Trail. Our next post is by Love Cats. My husband is cheating on me with our best friend. I recently found out that my husband, 42, is cheating on me with our married best friend, 32F. She is the godmother to our 4 children. They don't know that I know, but I caught them making out at the end of our driveway when he was seeing her off after dinner with our family. We live on a small acreage, and the driveway is a long way off from the main house. She had forgotten some crockery at the house, and I decided to walk it over, because for some reason the two of them always took a while to say goodbye. Now I know why. That's when I saw them lit by her car's headlights, making out in the front seat with our best friend straddling my husband. In shock, I didn't know whether to throw her Pyrex at the car or just walk away. I decided the latter, and was too shocked to cry or be angry. When my husband got back, I had to pretend like everything was normal. I know that it's stupid, but I couldn't sleep that night, and decided to go through his phone. She was obviously under a pseudonym, but I found a handful of their messages dating 2 or 3 years. Her husband doesn't know. He's currently posted overseas as a diplomat. I'm sick with rage and betrayal. I'm lost and have no idea what steps to take next. Update: I didn't expect this much support. It's really overwhelming. Just to clarify a few things, this is a private account I created just for this post, away from my usual account because I was scared it would be traced back to me. I want to remain anonymous as much as I can. I don't live in the US, but in Australia. Technically, I can't file for divorce immediately, as you need to be separated for 1 year and 1 day to file officially. My now ex-best friend just recently returned to the country. Her father has cancer, after being posted with her husband overseas. The dinner was to welcome her home, and what a welcome. There's some comments here about the headlights illuminating them. Sorry, I meant over headlights. As to what I'm going to do now, a part of me just wants to confront my husband, see what lame excuse he has, but I need to get away from him. This level of betrayal physically hurts. I can't help but think of all the times we spent together over the years and for how long our families were fooled. My mind is going crazy when she was single and he would rescue her from some bad date, or the times they were alone in my house when the kids and I were out. How irrationally angry he was when he found out she had a boyfriend, then chose to marry him. Thinking back on it, the two of them disappeared at her wedding. When I asked him where he was, he said he needed to reassure her that she had done the right thing. I feel so sick thinking of these things. Our next post is by Early Salamander. My boyfriend embarrassed me at his family's Thanksgiving. Hello, before I continue, I just want to rant. I am sad and I cried a lot, and I don't really want advice, not right now at least. I need to just calm down and have a clear head. My original plan was to make Thanksgiving for my family in the AM, and then go to my boyfriend's. I then decided to not make them food because something ridiculous happened and I was fed up with them. Last night I asked my boyfriend if he still wanted gumbo. It's his favorite food, and I've been learning how to make it like how his mom makes it. He said yes. So this was the only dish I was making. I made it for him. I woke up at 7 AM, started cooking at 7:15, and at 7:30 realized I needed more chicken. I ran to the store and all was well. Finished the dish around 11:30. I did make a couple things for my parents after all, since I wanted to eat my own cooking. At 2, I got to my boyfriend's with some gumbo in hand just for him. Day goes on and around 8:30 and all the guest leaves me. His mom and sister are all talking in the living room. His mom brought up how he has treated me in the past and said he should take me out more, and etc. We've been together for 3 years, and it's been rough. We talk about it, all make jokes and whatnot. Then he says he's going to try my gumbo. This is the first time I've cooked for him in 3 years. We don't live together and still live at home. I usually come when his mom cooks because she makes the best food. So I was excited for him to try it. Immediately he asked if I made a veggie soup because you could see my green and red bell peppers. After that and some comments he rated it as 0 out of 10 from first looks. He doesn't stir up the to-go container and just pours it out, so he got a lot of grease. Anyways, he makes some, said it's a 2 out of 10 and this would be his last resort. My brain probably made me forget everything else. But all I know was my face was in my hand for 5 minutes trying to not cry. This was in front of his mom and sister. They told him to not be mean, but he kept going and I broke and ran out crying. They scolded him to apologize, and all I got was a "you take life too seriously" and said I was also making fun of him. Okay, so I leave and his mom scolded him again. Okay, so this apology I got was the same but with the added comment, "it's just a joke." Okay, so he follows me out to the dinner table and I'm sitting there crying silently. Suddenly he spit the gumbo out his mouth. I run off because what the hell? His brother was there. Extra embarrassed now. What the heck? Yeah, after some more BS, I went in the living room to sit with his mom. He turned on the game and called his cousin. I left a little after and his mom had to scream at him for him to even walk me out, so I haven't cried that hard in a while. And that's my Thanksgiving. I am embarrassed. Edit. Can I please not be clowned? I understand the situation and whatever is needed to be done, but I'd like to go a couple hours without having to remember how humiliating that was. Edit 2. It's 1:35 p.m. I've been up since 7:30 sniffling and whatnot, but I'd like to say thank you everyone for your comments, advice and input. Negative or positive, I appreciate it. But here is a small update. I typed that out late at night and sobbing, so I'm sorry if it makes no sense. But we haven't spoken because who the hell wants to speak to that? Today is Black Friday, so he's at work all day. As for my courses of action, I'd like to hear the explanation, but I am at my ends. I've emotionally detached and there's nothing to save this. I'm sad, but humiliation was worse. I'm young, no kids, no marriage, and have a nice job and life that doesn't involve him. I'll be okay. Maybe in 10 years we will rekindle and speak about our mistakes, but for now I'd like to live my life in the comment and be happy. I also don't know if my gumbo was good. Edit 3. I dropped off his stuff. That's it. Thank you for listening to the Reddit Chronicles. Follow for more content.